We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We're here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile, beyond your expectations. We will get it done and get it done very well now. UBA, best loans and more. UBA, best customer satisfaction.
The head of retail banking, UBA Ghana, is going to give us the welcome address, Mr. Peter Dewi. A round of applause to him as he mounts the podium. Thank you, Peter.
It's a pleasure to welcome you to the second edition of our SME capacity building workshops. Last week, we started with Accra West, and this week, we are organizing this for Accra East. It is a capacity building workshop that we've organized across the country to build and improve upon the capacities of our SMEs. We know you are the engine of growth, and everywhere you are the highest employer of labor, and you are doing so well. You contribute so much to the GDP of this economy. So your contribution to this economy cannot be overemphasized. That is why we deem it necessary to organize these workshops that will build your capacity and also add value to your business. As a bank, we are interested in your growth. We want you to become the multinational that we see across the world. And I can bet you that in 10 years or less than that, the businesses that you've mentioned here will grow to that level. That is what we are praying for. Can we clap for ourselves?
Mrs. Sylvia Inkum, you are welcome to give the keynote address.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. We are doing this because we know, not that we think, but we know that you are a very important piece of our business. Peter mentioned that the SME sector contributes a big chunk of the value and volume of economic activities that go on in the country. It's the same globally. So for any business, any serious business, you definitely have to consider your approach to this segment, the small, medium enterprise segment. Why am I saying that? SMEs cut across all the major sectors of our economy. From mining, as I listened to you, from mining through entertainment, printing, construction, oil and gas, you're everywhere. So any serious business would take you seriously. I also like to say that in response to this, UBA has had to relook at its approach towards the segment and refocus on doing serious business with SMEs. In the light of this, we have come up with the SME business units within UBA. So now, if you walked to any UBA branch, you would find a dedicated person whose job is to take care of small, medium enterprises. Thank you for today, and thank you for your time. I know a lot of you have to be in your offices to mind your businesses, but you've chosen to spend it with us. I promise you it will be worth your while. Thank you very much.
With a big round of applause, let's welcome Benjamin Kofi Kwanzaa.
Okay. So, overcoming SMEs credit accessibility constraints in Ghana. And there's a special reason why you are here today. UBA has the interest of SMEs at heart. And just in case you already have an account with UBA, but it's gone dormant, we are pleading and asking that you reactivate those dormant accounts. I'm going to ask 2 questions. And I'll need answers from you. So the first question, how many of you here want to see a positive change in your business? You want to see transformation in your business? You want to move to the next level of your business? How many of you here want to see that? By hands, by hands, by hands, by hands. Good. So everyone wants to see transformation. Question number 2. The one thing that you want to see changed in your business, so you think that one thing will bring you transformation. What is that one thing you want to see changed in your business? Anybody in the audience? Yes. Yes, the next person. So I need like
it's not
3,
a
5
question.
answers.
It's an answer.
Okay.
Okay, I would want to see an easy and a quick access to credit, as in credit facility from the bank to fast track my business transaction.
So easy access to credit. Yes, next person. Maybe last person. What must change?
What I would like to change most is cash flow. That is why I'm expecting my customers to pay me and my business is going. I must be able to have some credit line to be running my business until my clients pay me whatever money they owe me.
So for him, it's a cash flow thing. Okay. I see another hand there.
Mine has to do with investment products. Because I feel like sometimes as companies, financial managers, we don't like the idea of just keeping money in the account just like that. We need to have these monies being turned into some profitable investment activity. And so we would be very glad if we can have banks that have exciting interest-based investment product that we could take advantage of whilst saving our company's income here and there. That's what I look out for.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Last one.
If what I would like to see is if I'm able to get an LPO from a big organization, government, or let's say a mining firm that is already established, household name, I should be able to walk into the bank, give them the LPO without any collateral. 48 hours, I get the money, finance the LPO. When the customer pays, then UBA takes the money and then gives me my share. If that can happen, it will really transform my business.
Okay. Thank you. So I'd like to show you what must change for everything else around you to change. So when you say it, you tell me the answer. What must change? Are you ready? Ready? Is it cash flow? Is it UBA? Yes, UBA has a part to play. What must change? What we are saying is that the resources are available and will make known to you in other presentations. But how do you position yourself to take advantage of them? You can have all the cash flows in the world. You can have all the investments. You can have almost anything. But if we don't change our attitudes, we'll end up not managing things the way they should be managed. When we are transformed, change begins with us. When we are transformed, everything around us changes. So the change must begin with us. And my focus this morning is going to look at how we can maintain proper books of accounts so we can utilize the facilities that UBA has available for SMEs. We need to be able to position ourselves in a certain way so we can meet the bank halfway. You cannot walk to the bank and tell the bank, I want, let's say, $2 million without having anything to show. The bank would want to look at your records. What shows that if I give you the $2 million, you'll be able to pay back? I want to make sure that you are not a high-risk company. So sometimes we ask, who wants change? And you see all hands going up. We want change. UBA must change. That person must change. The system must change. Yes, the system will change. Yes, UBA will change. That's why we are bringing this event to you.
Thank you very much for this education. I think it's pretty helpful. But I just want to ask you a question. What if it's a new business where, you are now starting up, you don't have any income coming in or whatever, but you have projections? How does the bank receive that as well?
Okay, so I will let an official from UBA address the projections issue. Okay,
Head of risk is here, so Kojo will be doing this together. Yes, so the bank has something called statement of affairs. So even for a new business, a startup, you can actually put something together, which we call statement of affairs. It talks to your projected, if it's a trading business, for instance, projected sales you expect to make. If you have incurred any expenditure, there will be record of it. If you have any assets, so if you have an office, you've got a car, you've got all these things. So your statement of affairs will show as a startup where you're starting from, what assets you have, if you have any liabilities, if you have spent any monies. It will throw the loss, seeming loss, at the end of the sheet if you did this. So even for a startup, there's a way you can put your numbers together and show to the bank. The bank will look at it with assumptions, of course. So this is where we are. We've bought all these things. So currently, we don't have any cash, but we're expecting to be receiving A, B, C, D, or we're expecting company A, B, C to be paying us these amounts. And when you net off, so you can actually project 2-3 years of your business from today. And the bank will look at it with the right assumptions, ask the right questions, and if it qualifies as a viable business, the bank will put money behind it. I hope I've answered you.
Madam Sylvia, thank you very much. I think one of my problems that I have with UBA is your communication channels, your customer service lines on your back of your cards. Sometimes in the evening when you are doing business in other countries and you're having a challenge charging through, you call this number and there's nobody answering, but it says 24/7 type of accessibility, and it's a challenge getting through to somebody. I have never used the Leo before, but I think that could be able to solve some of the problems here.
Thank you. We do have a call center. We do have a toll-free call center. We have people who work 24/7. Unfortunate that you have called before and you haven't had a response. They say the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating.
Okay, thank you, Mom. What I would have is I've been banking with UBA over the past 10 years, and my concern is sometimes you may have a check which you have deposited. Let's say if you have about 50,000 which has been put into the account, and maybe you just want just about, let's say, even 500 Ghana cedis or something out of it, but you find out that there is no, let me say, freedom where you could even get immediate 500 cedis out of that 50,000 you have put on the check you have put into the account, unless the check clears, which maybe you have to do special clearance, which fortunately anything above 50,000 cedis, it is 20,000. Anything above 20,000 cedis is even free of charge. But I feel very uncomfortable in the sense that, I mean, you go to your bank, your manager doesn't have any mandate to even give you, let's say, even 100 cedis, which you said, well, fortunately, my banker is Flores. And she calls me, no, I call her Mom, because my mother is Flores. And so we have a special relationship. But anything which you want before your actual money matures, I mean, she doesn't have the flexibility to do that. And so I want to ask that at least we should be assured of some mandate that, oh, well, based on this account, even if you haven't done your overdraft, you've not done the secure that is, at least if you come in and it's an agency, you could have this margin without any, how do we call it, going through all the dottings. Because if somebody has worked with the bank over 10 years, he pays monies in millions into the account and still cannot, what's it called, the bank cannot even trust him for, let me say, 100 cedis or 200 cedis. I think that it is more or less a give and take attitude between the bank and the client. And so that is what I want to say. And then I want to ask, can you give us, let's say, examples of, let's say, turnaround? When I mean turnaround, because like how our friend surveyor said, sometimes you want to do an overdraft, and it's like it's something which is going to take a whole lot of time, and maybe you don't really need the money per se, because you one way or the other find out that by the time the overdraft gets matures, you don't really need the money. And so I think that if the bank could look at clients and give them some, at least some assurance, well, okay, this is the maximum you can get without any documentation per se, then it can also help us in also our planning.
Thank you. Yeah. First of all, when you give the bank a check written by another for you, the risk is actually not on you. It's on the person who wrote the check for you. So if you present Mr. Sapon's check that he has given to you, normally, if Mr. Sapon is also a customer of the bank, it gives the bank some comfort because Mr. Sapon is known. So you can take the risk on him, because if you bring a check to the bank to be cleared, the risk is not yours. It's on the drawer, the one who wrote the check. And most of the time, we don't know them because they don't work with us. I hope you are getting the drift. So you're bringing a check and hoping that the bank will take a risk on Mr. Z that we don't know from anywhere. It becomes a bit challenging because you cannot tell whether the check will go through or not. There are instances where we've had checks from reputable companies that we know. And what we do is that we call them and we say, you wrote a check for this company. They need money. Can we? And it's a gentleman's agreement, but they give their word. And because you know them and you can take their risk, you give. So when we are unable to give value for a check instantly, it's not because we don't appreciate that you have worked with us for 10 years. It's just that that check is for somebody we don't know. And you know, in this market, people write checks and they don't have money in their accounts. They just write checks. So you can take a check, pay on it, and then some even tell their banks, return, don't pay. That's why Bank of Ghana has brought that penalty, that if anybody writes a check and doesn't have money, we should penalize them. If you see the number of checks written without funds in them, it will amaze you. So please bear with us. On such an occasion, it is not the fact that the bank does not value the 10 years of relationship, but the risk is not yours. It's the third party that we don't know. That said, we can have arrangements, again, pre-arranged. The reason why Florence is not able to give you the money you want instantly is because historically, we have given monies to people like that. They go and they don't come back. Staff have had to go and look for people that they trusted to say, okay, take 20,000 out of the big check you brought. So over time, it's become very difficult to bring a check and be given value instantly. But that is also an arrangement. The risk person is here. There are customers who have arrangements with the bank that they can get something on their undrawn balances. This has to be arranged. Definitely, we need a fallback. Because if Mr. Z doesn't pay, what do you have to pay? So there should be an arrangement. And even, as I said, even if you don't need it today, let's work on it today and put a line in place so that you can have intraday, intra-week limits. When we get to the collateral conversation for such short-term thing, we'll have a conversation. But I cannot guarantee that you write a check on an unknown customer and you will be given. So we can give you an overdraft on your own account for the history we have with you, but not for that. But if it's a big corporate, a reputable person or institution, we can do it.
Please talk to us, directly or indirectly. Just talk to us. When you go into the banking hall, now besides say, oh, and a dollar you're saying, and then a pound you're saying, and a euro you're saying, Nasa ufili say, oh, per se, only a more 30 rates and a more shesi can also no young have a conversation. Baby, just ask your relationship manager for the contact numbers of anybody in Treasury, and they would give it to you. You can talk to us at any time at all. Of course, except when we are sleeping, but anytime we are available to engage you. We also want to talk about how we can help you manage your funds that are not in Ghana. So there are some of our customers who are trying to build funds, at least we have a few of them, who are trying to build funds in certain countries so that once they are up to a certain amount, they'll use it to purchase goods from those countries. We are here to tell you that we are able to help you do that as well. So if you have funds that are sitting outside Ghana or you have funds here in Ghana, and you want us to help you manage it, give you some advice on it, what we think the projections are on whichever currency that you might be buying from next 3 months or next 2 months or next week, we are able to help with that kind of conversation.
Good afternoon. Okay, so I'm in trade sales. What we do is we engage customers, we help with trade business in general. I'm here with the head of trade, Joseph. He is on the back end of trade. So whatever myself and the relationship team bring, it gets to him, and then it's processed for whichever country. So our presentation is in two folds. We'll do a brief presentation on what trade is, what are expectations, what are emerging trends in trade, and then the focus is for SME, we notice there's a lag or miscommunication on what kind of documentation are required for certain types of payments. So we'll go into that in detail and then guide you on what to expect from your agents when they are helping you do your imports, etc., so that you don't have issues with the law.
So thank you very much for that wonderful information. Thank you very much. So all too soon, we are bringing the curtain to a close. We want to invite the regional head for Accra East, Mrs. Victoria, to give us the closing remarks. And let's give our hands to her. She's a wonderful woman, always ready to serve.
Okay. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Once again, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for honoring our invitation to join this session. Hadn't it been for you, it wouldn't be a successful one. So we are very much appreciative for that. I want to quickly mention the quick takeaways that we have to go with. First of all, our facilitator mentioned or indicated the fact that we should keep records, which is very essential to our businesses. Let's pay attention to that. We're glad to have the insurance company also come to speak to us. It's important that we also ensure our premises and then our stocks. The businesses we do, we need to insure them. So in times of trouble, we can quickly fall on the insurance company to come through for us. Now, we also are privileged to have our colleagues from Treasury, Trade, and Digital Banking come to speak to us. All our businesses, for one reason or the other, would need these services. We are happy they came to speak to us. We are going to also further engage with you as ROs and BMs. And of course, I'm also very much available to always assist you on any of these products for us to ensure that your businesses thrive and then our business also grows. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My buddy, you can do so much more now and win so much more. With one account, UBA bumper. Interest rate is mind-blowing, so make it always that money. Make it always that money. Put it in your bumper, UBA bumper, UBA bumper. It's your current account with savings features. Bumper, 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 bumper. Everybody get bumped up. Everybody get bumped up.